Stop that.
Stop what?
Chewing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Be professional.
Yeah, professional like you. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We had to wait for Matt to spill a drink all over the entire table, and the floor, and some chairs, and Turbo, and his phone.
I plead the fifth.
And then almost spill a second full drink while we're cleaning up from the
That
first
one was only like half full. Oh no. Did I close? I'll be right back. Oh, he figured it out. This guy is a genius.
It's all coming together.
All right. So, AJ lost in the quarterfinals.
Yep.
His wife
Did not.
still going. So, we're going to see if she can avenge AJ's death, even though she's not playing against the person who beat AJ.
No, she's not.
You know, it doesn't matter. She's here, and she's here to win and cast some red creatures.
All right, so here's two players that we've seen already today. Katie Carta is playing mono red. She's the 4th seed. And she is playing against Jason. Jason is playing our bug deck. We saw him play earlier against Evan and have his... Jason's the 6th seed. And unfortunately have his Scarab God hijacked, which was not great.
Was not.
Not actually hijacked. That's a real card in the format.
I know.
But,
yeah, that didn't happen. Just so everyone.
So he starts starts off on turn 1 and Tune with Aether, which is, again, it's kind of what you want to be doing on turn 1 in this deck. He's also lucky. He's on the draw here, but Katie did not play a 1-drop, which is a good sign for Jason.
Yeah,
Jason really needs to get his feet under him before he can compete with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And when the mono red deck's putting pressure on you from turn 1 on the play, it's hard to do that.
Yeah, for Jason here, it's all going to be about making sure he takes the least amount of damage as he possibly can in the early game. And then moving towards the mid-game, he wants to make sure that he's far ahead on board so that he can start pushing through damage of his own, but without opening himself up to potentially just being spiked out.
So we see Kenra come into play. It targets itself.
Yes.
So this Kenra's not blocking this turn.
It can't block.
Can't block.
Even if it wanted to.
Doesn't want to.
It doesn't.
It's a Jackal Warrior, and it wants to get in.
Yeah.
All right. And we have an Attune with Aether just floating in the battlefield. There we go.
That is a permanent now.
And we see it looks like he picked up a Glint Sieve Siphoner for turn. What
did you see what he attuned for?
He attuned for a forest.
A forest. Okay, so
we assume he has an untapped black source in his hand.
Yeah. And I think I see a basic island. Oh well, there's a fetid pools. Okay.
Yeah, he may be regretting not going for the swamp here.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, I think the way his hand was shaped before, he really wanted to try to go turn 4 Bristling Hydra.
Sure. Well,
so it made sense to get the forest.
And this is where some land sequencing is really important to look at, actually, because if that fetid pools was in his hand already,
yeah.
It might have been better for him just to lead on that. He doesn't get to cast his attune on 1 and probably not on 2. He probably has to wait till turn 3 or later.
But it does get more information.
It gets more information, and it also allows him to do something on his second turn, which is, in my opinion, more important than casting Attune with Aether on turn 1.
Sure. Yep, I would definitely agree with you there. And Katie seems to have missed her 3rd land drop. We saw earlier tonight that the mono red deck, it doesn't need a ton of lands to function, but it is much, much better when you hit 1, 2, 3, 4.
Certainly.
She still definitely has opportunity. If she draws a mountain here, this shock is going to be looking really, really good, though.
Yeah, shocking a Rogue Refiner is
one of
the best ways that you can trade for a Rogue Refiner. There's an asterisk at the end of that statement there that says there really isn't actually a good way to trade against a Rogue Refiner.
Yeah, drawing cards is sweet.
But shock is one of the best ways. And I think it's what we're going to see. Nope, it is not. It's another Harsh Mentor. Now,
This card was very, very good. Earlier today, when she was playing against the Ballista deck,
yes.
I don't think Jason's deck is nearly as susceptible to it.
He doesn't have any Ballistas, and I believe he also does not have any Long Tusk Cubs. And those are the two cards that Harsh Mentor is really aimed to beat, you know?
Right. You activate Scarab God. If they get to the point in the game where he's activating Scarab God, he'll pay 2 life for it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fine.
And I am confirming, yes, he is in fact playing the Servant of the Conduits as opposed to the Long Tusk Cubs,
Right.
which is, in my opinion, good. That's what I've been doing in my bug lists. But as is, we see Katie's been able to get in some damage, Jason down to 14, and she does have 2 creatures on the battlefield to Jason's now 1.
Oh, this is very good, too. He's missing a land drop here, which means this Bristling Hydra is not coming down this turn.
But this is a good play.
Yeah, but because of that, this Lightning Strike in Katie's hand might be able to... Well, I guess she's probably going to commit to the threat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't make out her hand. I know she has at least both a Shock and a Lightning Strike in hand.
Right, and those might be relegated to just going to the dome now.
They could. I mean, Jason's all the way down to 9 already. Seeing as how Jason missed a land drop last turn, I would have liked to see a Shock on the Servant here, assuming that she had another way to use that leftover 2 mana.
Sure.
But from the looks of it, actually, she's just got another On-Crop Crasher. And here we have more cheats.
More cheats. That was actually pretty smooth right there.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
He almost got away with it.
Yeah.
But
Katie was on top of it.
Katie says none of that. We just can't go around without someone doing something shady.
Game rule violations all over the place.
Everywhere. So those cards are actually in his graveyard? Yeah. He had tried to put them on top of his deck?
No, his sleeve picked up the mat, and the mat flipped them on top of the deck.
I see. Well, regardless, cheats. Jason still doesn't have a 4th land, but it looks like he's doing okay. I'm
a little surprised that he decided to play the Glintsleeve Siphoner and the Fatal Push as opposed to resolving a
Hydra
here.
Yeah. It may be that he just feels he needs to be casting multiple spells in a turn in order to keep up with the mono red deck, but Bristling Hydra is so good. Isn't it? Yeah. It's not necessarily your best card, but it's up there. It is phenomenal. Right? It's so good. And especially
you already have energy in the bank too, so it's like it's not only is it going to be so huge he'll never kill it, it's also going to be hexproof for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And his life total is high enough to where he doesn't have to be extremely concerned right away.
Yeah, I really, really dislike this play.
I think this is a mistake as well. I think that Shock should go upstairs. 100%.
Or if you're going to cast it on a creature, it should be taking out the Servant of the Conduit.
Yeah.
He's missed 3 land drops now.
And the Siphoner, I just don't think Jason can really afford to actually draw cards off of it.
Yeah,
just seeing as how low he is.
You have a Lightning Strike in your hand. He's just too close to dead.
And Jason's missing a land here again.
Yeah,
he might cast Rogue Refiner.
I'm not sure it's going to matter just because of the raw number of haste threats in Katie's hand. Between Lightning Strike and another On-Crop Crasher, I think it's going to be...
Getting to untap with the one in play and committing a new one means even if Jason is able to commit 2 blockers here, and he's actually just going to go with a Hostage Taker on the existing On-Crop, which will leave him only going to 2 here.
Yeah, but he's just going to die to a Lightning Strike when she untaps.
Well, or right now.
Yeah. Or die to this Lightning Strike right now.
So this should be lethal here. And game 1 going to Katie. If she sees it. If that is, in fact, a Lightning Strike in her hand.
I believe it is. I believe it's a Theros Lightning Strike. Or potentially M15. I think it's a Keranos Lightning Strike.
I don't think Lightning Strike was in M15. Was it?
Oh.
All right, well, Jason is at 2. The turret has been passed, so it's probably not a lightning strike.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. It really does look like one.
I think it's an on-crop crasher and maybe a Hazaret? No.
Might be Hazaret, yeah. It's a little hard to tell the way she's holding there.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Is this a Vraska's Contempt here? So this is a good play.
This is quite good.
Going back up to 4, leaving the Servant back to block. Jason's not dead quite yet.
I just really think that I think he would have been so much better off if this Bristling Hydra ended up in play, though, earlier on.
Yeah. I agree. I like how when any of Katie's cards get exiled, she flips them upside down.
Yeah.
As if they had been under a Bomat courier at one point.
I really hate that.
Yeah, this is flame. We're flaming you.
Yeah, you can't do that as a revealed zone.
Yeah. But, yeah, she drew a shock,
Interesting.
Jason is very dead.
Very dead. Yep.
Very dead.
Yep.
And game 1 to Katie. So, as far as the sideboarding is concerned, that's what Jason's got. What's he got?
He's definitely bringing in the 3 Deathgorge Scavengers. Like 100%. That card's great. He also has 2 Cartouche of Ambition. And that card is like very, very often kill one of your creatures. If you don't kill this creature this turn, you lose the game.
And sometimes even then.
Yeah, sometimes just...
If you put it on Bristling Hydra, the game ends.
Yeah, it's very hard
and
to
I
lose.
mean that literally.
I don't think you mean it literally.
I mean it should. Like, the mono-red player should concede.
That's probably fair. The majority of games, yeah. So I think he can get... I think he definitely wants to cut some number of his more expensive or clunkier cards in this matchup. Cards I'm looking at are Ronis. Ronis is okay, but not amazing.
Not great.
Scarab God.
Yep.
Scarab God is just...
It's amazing, but slow.
It's good, but it just costs so much mana. And Doomfall. Doomfall's another card. It's okay.
Yeah, Doomfall's interesting. It's, I kind of like leaving Doomfall in, not only because you just want to have a high density of removal, but also because Doomfall answers Hazaret cleanly, answers Earthshaker Kenra cleanly, and against everything else is just a removal spell.
Sure, but it's sorcery.
Yeah.
That's just kind of... It's a 3-mana sorcery that's going to kill a 1-drop.
I think that's fine. On Katie's side, I'm not sure if we've been scammed or if she actually just has 13 cards in her sideboard. But one of those things is true.
Yeah, I was thinking that didn't seem like enough cards. I'm going to go double check and see if there are some cards not on the list that are in the sideboard. So I will be right back.
You know, I'm starting to feel like he just is making excuses to leave every round.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't think any of the cards that are written on Katie's deck list in the sideboard will be coming in here, unless she believes that Jason is in fact playing the snake version of Bug. We of course know that he is not. And in that, if she does believe that, then the Soulscar Mages will come in. But I think she is probably just going to present the same 60. Maybe get some Rampaging Ferocidons in there. Probably not. So what's the verdict?
There are 2 more cards in the sideboard.
And they are.
If you had to pick 2 cards that you think should be in the sideboard, what would they be?
Glorybringer.
There are 2 Glorybringers in her sideboard.
Okay, we did it. So the Glorybringers will be coming in.
Yeah. No, they're not coming in.
They're not coming in.
They should be. I believe that to be true. It's funny, she said she didn't write them down because she literally never sides them in because they're never good.
Okay. Well, there's some strong opinionation.
Sorry, she says she never needs them.
Which
might be a more accurate description.
While I believe that is technically true, I am doubtful as to the practical applications.
Yeah, I do think that's a card you want in this matchup. Sorry, we're literally in a closet, and so they are putting stuff away, so the door's like opening, and they're like putting tables in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're it's a very, very professional outfit we have going here for us.
Yeah. There's like a whole bunch of boxes and stuff back
it's
here.
actually really cool. I don't mean it to sound like it's not.
sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
It'll be even sweeter next time.
Yes, it will. Looks like she's looking at 2 lands, both of them mountains. Kept a mountain on top. I think that her hand's pretty good.
Good. I see an on-crop Crasher. I think there was an Earthshaker Kenra in there.
Yeah, she also Harsh Mentor is still in her deck, and that surprises me a little bit. I just don't think a 2-mana 2/2 is very good.
Yeah, and
do you think that she maybe thinks that there are ballistas?
This might be the case of that she just doesn't know.
She's used to playing against AJ's deck,
right? Exactly. Yeah, and
which could very well be the answer.
The Ballista Snake version is the more popular.
Right.
Certainly.
So, being that you do have a 2-mana 2/2 in your deck, do you lead on the bear here, so that you can get the Kenra to hopefully make something not block next turn? Or do you just try to get the Kenra in to get the damage right now?
It's close, and I think functionally they're the same. The only difference being that if you assume Jason doesn't have a removal spell and also is going to play a creature next turn, that can be targeted by your Earthshaker Kenra.
And this is basically the max punish situation that's happening right now.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
You're getting your eternalized creature,
and there it goes upside down.
Yep.
It is gone.
Gone forever.
No longer exists.
Is that a magic card? We may never know.
I don't think so.
Could be a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It probably is.
Alright. Side deck.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Extra deck?
Not sure.
Something like that.
Probably a trainer card.
One thing that we didn't really mention earlier today, but I think we should have with Austin, he plays mismatched mismatched, and that can't possibly be
it's
right.
hard to notice. It's actually kind of hard for us to make out some of the basics with the way that we're set up here. But when your basics are like very obviously mismatched,
that can't be right.
Go home.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
we don't need your kind here.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah. And the reason it came to mind is because there's a whole bunch of mountains in Katie's deck, and they all match.
They do.
Which I appreciate.
And that's impressive.
They're also Bolas Mountains, which is one of the better full art mountains. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Top to bottom, we approve.
I mean, honestly, this is Katie's first store championship appearance.
I believe so, yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
She's already outlived her husband.
Who's sleeping on the couch tonight?
Well, actually, it seems like that's untrue.
I think I think so.
Okay. We'll have to ask them.
Yeah, we'll
later.
We'll ask later.
But yeah, I mean, she's doing great. She's got matching basics in her deck.
Really one of the better decks in the format.
I mean, granted, she does this thing where she turns her exiled cards upside down and her exerted creatures upside down a different way. But if we can look past that,
she's new.
I have no complaints.
So this Rogue Refiner looks like it's going to be pretty good. We're in the middle of resolving an Attune with Aether. If Jason can follow up with a real spell here, maybe Hostage Taker might even be the best
I think
thing.
Bristling Hydra is the best thing he could play here.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's going to be, because he's not going to get to keep the...
if he casts Bristling Hydra right now, he will win the game.
All right.
He has one in his hand. He's attacking.
Okay. Good start. Fighting,
I like that.
Fighting's good. We like fighting.
That is plus. The player's being so kind as to use our life.
Yeah, they're using the right dice now as well.
He casts Doomfall instead.
I'm not a huge fan of that play. I think I would have liked to have seen the Bristling Hydra come down here.
Yeah.
Especially because that on-crop Crusher wasn't going to untap next turn.
Yeah, and that's the part I find the most odd, is that seemed like the perfect opportunity to advance your board.
Right.
You know?
And then, he does have more than 3 energy, so it's not like he's going to get it lightning struck in response.
Sure.
But it just, it did seem like a good opportunity.
Here's a Lightning Strike taking down Rogue Refiner.
All right.
And
Bristling
to
Hydrate
be
incoming.
fair, I think Jason is still going to win. Katie has no cards in her hand, just a lone on-crop Crasher
Which
of
is
a
gonna be swallowed
battlefield.
up by this.
I don't believe she has a Ramonap Ruins there. I see a Scavenger Grounds among her lands, but... and there's another Doomfall.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the...
Following up with... It looks like his 2 remaining cards are Bristling Hydra and Attune with Aether.
So I think he may be kind of living in a world where he wants to keep the board really clear.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think a cluttered board is just better for you if you're the green deck.
Well, certainly
Your
if you
dudes are
have a
just
Bristling
bigger.
Hydra in play.
Your dudes are just bigger. I think he's overextending, or he's
underextending.
He's overvaluing the ability to remove a creature with a
Sure.
Doomfall.
Yeah.
When I kind of thought some number of Doomfalls were coming out anyways.
No, I think having all of the Doomfalls in is still good.
Well, I
but
think there's 5 cards you absolutely want to get in, and I think Doomfall is worse than all of your other cards besides Scarab God.
it might be. I think Scarab God and Ronus are the first
Right,
2
but you
cards
still
I'm
gotta cut
cutting.
You still have to cut 2
And
cards
I would
at that
probably cut
point. Vraska, I guess.
the Vraska.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised there are as many Doomfalls in his deck as there are.
Certainly here's the Hydra now,
Yeah.
as he has no other spells to cast. And we see...
and it's still good.
it is. Harsh
He's
Mentor...
going to take some damage from that.
Yeah,
Harsh Mentor.
well,
he's at 16
he's
now.
really not. Harsh Mentor can't attack through the Hydra. At all.
Right, but some things might be able to.
Yeah. Not profitably, doesn't seem. Is that a Hazoret or a
It's
Lightning Strike?
I think if it were a Hazoret, it probably would be in the red zone.
We are kind of at a point here, though, where it's a top deck
People
war.
just staring at each other.
I think Jason's last card is another Attune with Aether. And I like this decision. Just jam.
Right?
You're
him up.
way ahead on the race here. Just dead. You know, Katie's going to die in 4 turns.
Yeah, get him dead. Okay, I think that's an Abrade.
I think
because
so.
The full art Glorybringer is still in her sideboard. I know because I put it there myself.
Very disappointing.
I don't know if it's necessarily disappointing. I think that she might be establishing that she should be the aggro deck.
So she's just cashing in the Abrade here for a shock to the face, essentially.
Yep. Which I actually think is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Get in for 2
Reasonable.
more.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just going to hope to draw. That surprises me.
She did not attack?
She chose not to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't think you're blocking with that.
I mean, you might be because you're pretty far behind on the race, but I think that your game plan needs to be hope to draw more burn spells and more Hazarats than my opponent draws creatures.
Yeah.
So
I think that, though, if Katie's going to win this game, she's going to win this game by inches.
Right.
And every point of
damage,
every point of damage she can get in is valuable. At some point, she might be relegated to blocking with that Harsh Mentor, but not this turn. She's at 13. She can afford to take a hit.
Yeah. Plus, if you attack with it there, he's only getting in for 5, because if he tries to get in for more than that, he takes some damage.
Right, exactly.
And 12 is a range where you might be able to burn him out. I think that it's going to be pretty hard to burn him out from 14.
Yeah. I thought Jason went to 12 off of that Harsh Mentor, right?
He went from 16 to 14.
Okay. Oh, I was just thinking he was going to go to 12. And here, she didn't block with the Harsh Mentor anyway.
Right.
So, there's a Chandra.
Chandra's a pretty good draw, but it would have looked a lot better had she attacked that previous turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, do you think that you can protect this Chandra well enough?
Well,
ultimate?
The Chandra is definitely not getting the ultimate. The best case scenario for this Chandra is she deals between 4 and 8 damage to Jason, or draws between 1 and 3 cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 4. I mean, if she does 4, she might be able to win. If she does 8, she's definitely gonna win.
Yeah.
You think these are both going at Chandra?
I would assume so. It's possible that they're just going at Katie directly, but
I think you might have to block the. You have to block the.
I think
Hydra either way. Probably.
I think regardless of where these attacks are going, the Harsh Mentor has to just jump in front.
Yep. I'm inclined to agree. It looks like they're just going at her. That is a lightning strike in her hand.
I mean, she's not that far off from cobbling together something here.
Sure.
I mean,
I feel like if he was at 10.
No, certainly. I think. I mean, this game would be much more within her reach if there was an extra 2 damage. There's a mountain off the top,
right.
though.
So, like, say she plays this mountain, goes Hazard, like, ups the Chandra, hits a Hazaret.
Yep. I mean, she still wouldn't win, but
yeah.
So here's the lightning strike, straight at the dome. Gonna go up on the Chandra, see what we get. That's an abrade.
Straight to the dome.
Straight to the dome. Katie is conceding in style.
Yes.
And there it is. So we're going to get a game 3 out of this one. Notably, Katie gets to be on the play in game 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Someone mentioned earlier in the chat, they asked a question: does the green-black player gain anything by knowing that they're on the draw against mono red?
As in, like
just the knowledge of playing against mono red, and knowing you're on the draw versus playing against a random deck on the draw.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that there's a big advantage to knowing what you're playing against. I don't think that your mulligans or your hand is any different. Like the good hands are good hands against mono red, whether you're on the play or draw. I
think in this version of the deck specifically, actually, your mulligan decisions could certainly be impacted because there's a lot of hands that you could have with this deck that certainly are functional and might even be very good against other mid-range decks, but are too slow to compete with mono red.
Right, but my point is that the hands that you mulligan against mono red doesn't matter whether you're on the play or draw.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Obviously, you care about what deck you're playing against, but I don't think that your mulligan decision is impacted by the.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
In this matchup,
the only scenarios are the ones where when you're on the draw, you have a little bit more leeway as to keeping land light hands.
Yeah. So, are there any cards that are not really seeing a lot of play right now? Do you think would see a lot of play if the meta shifted one direction or another?
I mean, there's always good cards in a format that don't see play.
Sure.
And a lot of the times that's because either the meta is not right for them or because there's just not a good deck that card fits into.
Katie kept a one-lander with multiple Bowmat careers.
Well, we all know how this ends.
She crushes him.
Yeah, it's not going to be close.
I don't know why it works that way, but Bowmat career is legit.
It just does.
Oh, yeah.
But to answer your question, yes. There are cards. Sky Sovereign is one that comes to mind. That's great.
If everything gets more mid-range.
Great card. It's too slow. It's too slow in this format.
Yeah, I think the card I was thinking of, if mono red really becomes a dominant force in the format, I think that you're going to see people moving away from the bug in the 4-color decks and back towards the green-black decks to be able to play Aetherborn, Gifted Aetherborn.
Sure, that's reasonable.
Yeah, 2/3 with lifelink and Death Touch is just it's just too good against the aggro decks.
And even if we're talking about a world in which mono red is the best deck by a lot and it's not close, I think vampires could be a real thing. Just tribal vampires.
Sure.
Yeah. Of course, that deck is pretty much unplayable against anything that's not mono red. But it's on the table.
So I'm not entirely sure, but I don't see another land in Jason's hand.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch more 1 and 2 drops in Katie's hand, which I think bodes well for her chances to win.
Well, and Jason's...
I really, really, really don't want to see her cash in this one of these shocks
No.
right now. Okay, yeah, Kenra, this is what I want to see.
Yeah, this is perfect. And Jason's first play being a Glint Sleeve Siphoner against the mono red deck is, you know, it doesn't inspire me with confidence that his hand is very good.
Right.
I know I saw a Servant of the Conduit in there, so at least he has an additional mana source. And there's a land right off the top.
Yeah, that's the best land too. Mm-hmm. So now he's in a position where he can cast 2 2-drops, or a 4-drop, or a 3-drop, and a Fatal Push if he has one.
I doubt he has a Fatal Push because I think it would have been cast.
He could have just drawn it at some point.
He could have.
If it wasn't in his opening hand.
The only turn he could have drawn it and not cast it would be turn 2. And I guess there it is.
Yeah.
And he's in. He's not messing around.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like drawing a card here.
Did he or did he not do that?
Well, he didn't have a choice this turn.
Oh, sure.
Could not have drawn a
You're
card.
right.
I know. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, so I think these shocks should stick in your hand until you're going to try to dome someone to death.
Well, I think one of these shocks needs to take out this Servant, because otherwise your Bomat Couriers aren't getting through this turn. It's essentially
I thought that 4th card in his hand was a on-crop crasher, but it does not. It appears to be an Abrade.
Yeah. So this shock essentially gets to go upstairs and kill a creature.
Sure.
I mean, that's just value. And I see, yeah, there's an Abrade, a shock, and a Chandra left over there.
Yeah, and she is really amassing quite a few cards underneath this. I don't like that.
I think that's fine. She wants to empty her hand out because she's going to want to cash these Bomat Couriers in pretty soon.
I guess, and it does keep him from drawing a card. I just felt like that shock could be put to better use. Because she's also, the fact that she cast that shock there, she just has 1 mana that just does nothing now. Right?
Yeah,
it could have been an Abrade.
Yeah, certainly. I think...
And maybe that's not good because he has 3 toughness creatures, but most of his creatures are 2 toughness.
Yeah.
Which makes, in my opinion, the shocks better.
I think this is going to end up being okay. She's going to most likely untap. If she draws an untapped mana source, she's going to cast Chandra.
Yeah.
No, she's going to minus kill this Death
Or
Gorge
she
Scavenger.
Plus to use the Abrade in her hand and have more loyalty on the Chandra to get another card out of her hand. I think that's better.
I think just having an Abrade left over is good. It's not like Jason has any cards that just deal direct damage to Chandra.
No, but I think that she would like to cash in these Bomat Couriers at some point in the very near future.
All right. Well, Katie agrees with you.
Yeah, and she's right.
I still agree with me.
Hey, this is America. You're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah. And generally, most people are.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
all right,
I think this game is
Jason
shaping
seems
up
to be having mana issues yet again.
Yeah, and at this point, it's going to take a miracle because Katie is about to draw 9 cards. Like 9 cards. Plus is untapping with an active Chandra.
Yeah. Yep.
So...
Is this a land? Is that a mountain?
That's a mountain.
That's basically the best draw.
Pretty much. Yeah. Maybe Ramanap Ruins is better, but...
Yeah, you're probably right.
So I think the first thing... I kind of think I'd like to see an attack before a Chandra activation.
I agree.
Because you just want to put all these cards in your hand and survey your options. It may
and also
very
you might
well
want to make mana.
That's what I'm saying is when you're putting 9 cards in your hand, you're not going to be able to cast them all on 5 mana.
Right.
So let's see if Katie actually knows about... It doesn't look like it. So she's only cashing in the one Bomat Courier that was locked.
I think she wants to do that. I think that she might just refill, leave the Bomat Courier in play and fill up her hand with a bunch of stuff.
I think it's unlikely that Bomat Courier is doing anything for the rest of the game.
I think it's unlikely that she's going to cast all these cards this turn anyways. Right? She's just going to discard a bunch of them.
But I think that now her window to activate that Bomat Courier is gone.
It could be. She has so many cards in her hand, I don't know if it's relevant now. She did also, as you can see, get 2 Ramanap Ruins. And Jason's at 7 with a Chandra on 6, 4 power in play, and Ramanap Ruins in her hand.
Mm-hmm. And just as many cards as Jason has. Alright, he started playing a Hostage Taker, realized
that Chandra would kill it, and he would get... I guess you could hostage take the Bomat Courier, so and
Just
hope that
reset
she
it.
just has only lands, which could be maybe okay. I think at this point he's got to kind of stretch. You have to play like she doesn't have anything in her hand. Because I don't think you can win if she has spells in her hand.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can play assuming all of her cards are creatures or all of her cards are burn spells or something like that.
I don't think so. I think both of those kill you.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think certainly if she has any number of burn spells, Jason is dead. If her entire hand is like mediocre one-drop creatures, more Bomat Couriers, Soulscar Mages, things like that, there might be a window.
I don't think so. She's going to cast like 4 of them this turn if that's what's in her hand, right?
Yeah.
She's only going to have to get in for like a couple. He can't cast too many creatures this turn. He's going to take 4 this turn. I don't think she could beat 4 1/1s or 3 1/1s. I don't think he could beat 3 1/1s right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Maybe he's
you
on...
You have to just play like she has only lands and they're not
You have
Lumineth Ruins.
six mountains.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Or some number of Scavenger Grounds.
Unfortunately...
Probably still just died to Chandra.
Katie's hand is not 6 mountains. But who knows?
Let's see what he decided on here. He does have a bunch of spells in his hand. Looks like he's thinking about playing another Rogue Refiner. Possibly. Is this a Doomfall? This is the exact moment where a Doomfall is pretty bad, right? You got my Bomat. Like, just looking at her hand, she's like, you got my Bomat Courier. He's dead on board. He didn't leave. Okay.
I mean, he's not quite dead on board. He'd be at 1 on board, but dead to pretty much any spell.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this is one of those games. This is one of those mono-red games.
Right.
You know, where Jason, his cards just didn't line up. And perhaps, you know, perhaps he had an opening hand that was pretty borderline and decided to keep thinking that he would draw into some action, but you know, it just didn't come together. And I love this. 2 damage.
Pay 2 mana. Pay 2 mana. Make it
3 damage. 3 to you, sir.
Yeah, and I think she's got him with just the creatures at this point. She picked up a Bomat Courier for turn. And he didn't actually leave up a black source.
Mm-hmm.
He
and I
tapped
noticed
2 black sources.
that. Yep.
So I think he pretty obviously doesn't have a Fatal Push. You know, I think it's about time you just go no fear, turn my dude sideways. Also, the Chandra just like is at 7.
Yeah, I find it unlikely that Jason is going to somehow kill all of the creatures and also the Chandra.
Wow, she's gonna give him a chance to untap.
Does she have a burn spell?
She does not.
Maybe she'll sacrifice Bomat Courier?
Shock.
Here we go. Come on, Shock. No, there's a Lightning Strike.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised she didn't just play the Bomat Courier.
Mm-hmm. But you've got to admit this is a much more BM way to kill your opponent.
That's true. I think she should emblem the Chandra and cast the Lightning Strike targeting herself. But that's just me.
I'm a fan.
You know?
She could also cast the Lightning
Strike
with
simple tastes.
Targeting him and then target herself with the 5 damage.
Also good. Make mana, Lightning Strike myself, attack you with Kenra.
That's a winner.
They block, play a land, throw it at you.
Yeah. Ramanap Ruins.
There it is. We found the line, guys. Oh! It's just so
There's
close.
A cartouche.
So close.
Yeah.
1 turn sooner.
Mm-hmm. It would have been a whole different game. As it is, there it is.
Oh!
There it is.
There it is.
Put this in play.
With my land.
Extend hand. And here it is. Katie Carta is going to advance to the finals, where she will try to do what her husband obviously is incapable of doing.
Hey, that's just rude. I think AJ is going to win one eventually. I don't think he's incapable. I think he's just hasn't yet.
I agree. But his wife might do it first.
That would be great.
It would.
I'm a fan.
I would be very impressed.
Okay, well, we're going to go check on the results of the other match.
Yep.
I think. And get the finals going as soon as we can.
We can tell you the other match was Blue-Eyed Approach against Bug. Right? Or was it Rug?
Rug with black.
Rug with Scarab God. So
Yeah.
one of those two decks will be facing off against Mono Red in the finals. If it's Blue-Eyed
Oh,
Approach.
no. It's Mark Granger. It's a green black snake.
Green-Black.
Yes.
Blue-White, Green-Black.
All right. We will be back in a few minutes.